And Bonds hits one high. Hits it deep. It is out of here. 7:56. Bonds stands alone. Now Booker with Tucker on him. Throws it up for 8. Shot blocked by Antetokounmpo. What a block from Giannis.
17 seconds from Game 7 for championship number 6. Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
Minute remaining. And they're putting Curry in the pick and roll, trying to get him on Irving. Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown!
We're sending it in, Jerome. That's for damn sure.
Yes. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the Taproom Sports Podcast. I am your host, Jordan, Stacks on Stacks on Stacks Lats, joined, as always, every Sunday with my guy, Mr. Big Ball and Ben Larson. What's going on tonight, Ben?
Good, man. It's weird to hear that introduction without the talking about the two greatest things on this planet, sports and beer.
Oh, yeah, I changed it up, you know.
Oh, yeah. Always got to change it up a little bit. But I'm doing well, man. Good weekend, long weekend. Got a little red. Definitely burn a little bit.
Got
Was
some
out on
sun,
the
huh?
out at the ocean yesterday. I went up to Monterey, got some good beer, got some great food, saw some big old whales. I was trying to do a your mama joke, but couldn't come up with anything fast enough there. But you know, can't beat it. Dubs won today. Giants, meh, were iffy this last week. So yeah, it is what it is. Great hockey, great basketball. That's all I'm worried about right now.
Giants regressing to the mean after a year.
Yep.
So it only took a year, but it happened. Yeah, man, great weekend in sports, dude. We had the Kimbosos fight versus Haney last night. That was a great fight. Good UFC card. Obviously, NHL playoffs in full swing. We know we're about to have the Stanley Cup Finals here soon. Yep. NBA Finals are in action, so you know this is the time of year when you're a kid. It's like summertime's beginning, baby.
Exactly.
You know, it's one of the best times of year.
School's out in a week.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a awesome time of year, man. Excited for baseball really getting in full swing too. Like we're seeing a lot of these teams, what we think they're going to be, what they're going to be and such. And you know, we'll be talking about our top 5 teams here later on. For those that are new to the show or haven't joined us before, Ben and I review a couple beers. I'm drinking some good beer tonight. Yep. What are you sipping on, Ben? Or first, tell everybody about the beer part of the show.
Yeah, so we wanted to make this show as kind of like we're sitting at a brewery, sitting at a bar, drinking beer and you know, talking sports. And you know, what doesn't get, you know, the conversation flowing than a good beer and a heavy beer. So we definitely want you guys to go out and try those beers, talk sports to anybody who's sitting up at the bar, and kind of
Let's go,
you know, use this as kind of a starting point of you know, what we're trying to push out there, and you know, having some fun at a brewery. And that's really what we want to do. I mean, I was just at Dust Bowl in Monterey yesterday talking about the what was it yesterday was the Avs and oh my god, Oilers game that was gonna be happening. So we're talking sports, drinking some fresh great beer, but I unfortunately left my Dust Bowl beers up in San Mateo, where the other half is, and have some great Notion beers tonight. So the first beer that I'm going to go with is called Easy Like Sunday Mornings. Great can art from Great Notion.
Like Sunday morning.
And it's a 7.1%. This is a tart ale. And this has tangerine and Cara orange. And I was looking up what Cara oranges were, and it is a red bodied or kind of a pulped navel orange. So learned something new by drinking some beer.
Damn. I had no idea.
Great smell to it. It is definitely a fruit forward smell, fruit forward taste. I've taken a couple sips of it. I mean, it looks like it's orange soda, which is Always a good thing. So,
Oh yeah.
I hear you've got a sour as well.
Yeah, I got
Tell me
2
about that.
sours tonight.
Perfect.
So my first one's a fruited sour with pineapple, blood orange, guava, and lactose. This is from Lead Dog Brewing Company from Sparks, Nevada,
Nice.
and it's called Savage, and it actually has a fucking dope can.
Hell yeah.
So interested to drink this one. I love fruited sours. I love guava, so it's like fuck it, I gotta try it.
Yeah. What's the percentage on that one?
This one is 5.8, so pretty low.
Okay, pretty low. I also didn't say Great Notion is out of Portland, Oregon. So if you're ever up in Portland, definitely go and try out Great Notion.
They are out of Portland, and be careful when you talk about Oregon to some people because they get really defensive.
Always. That especially in Portland.
Well, I was talking about someone in Eugene, and I made a little joke, and they got pretty offended. I was like, "Hey, dude, it was a joke."
Yeah.
But anyways, man, we gotta talk about the sports, bro, especially the NBA playoffs, Ben, because we are coming off Game 2. Game 1 was crazy. The Celtics won by 12 points, had a 40-12 fourth quarter run, which basically solidified the game.
40-16, but
40-16.
Still,
I did that off my dome. I wasn't even looking at anything. But you know, Golden State bounced back. That was also Golden State's first home Game 1 loss in the Curry and Clay Draymond era. And then obviously they bounced back today, won 107-88, really dominated the third quarter. That was the difference. It was kind of like the same. It was the Celtics fourth quarter last game flip-flopped for the Warriors this time. Celtics had a ton of turnovers, 19 turnovers, which led to 33 points for the Golden State Warriors. What was before I give my thoughts, what was your thoughts on this game, and how the series has come along after 2 games at this point?
Yeah, I definitely thought that we'd see a flip-flop on how these games have played out. I thought Warriors were going to come out strong, being at home, in the first finals game at the Chase Center, and then probably take an L in game number 2. But we definitely, saw these flip-flop there. Was surprised at the way that, we saw, I mean, it almost seemed like every single Celtic just draining threes, whether it was Horford, whether it was Smart, whether it was Brown, like whether it was White. Every single 3-ball seemed to hit for them on what was that, Thursday? And I think that's what helped them really take the game. I mean, we really only saw White, hitting those threes today, which really changed the way that the direction of this game, ended up. 13 for 17 today for that, the Celtics. Sorry, not 13 for 17. Yeah. 15 for 37 on the 3-point line for the Celtics. And, previous game was 21 out of 41. So huge difference in the 3-ball. And I think that's
really
what
the
really
third
kind
quarter, because heading into the first half, I mean, they were over 50% from 3. The third quarter really changed everything. But
they just weren't taking a lot of threes.
It's not about taking a lot. It's about taking efficient threes. That's what their offense is all about. Like,
true.
good looks. They don't want even the contested threes.
Even the contested threes that they were shooting in game 1 seemed to drop for them.
They shot 23 wide open threes in game 1, which is when a defender is less than 6 feet away from you, and they made 15 of them. So
yeah,
that was the difference in that game. Like, they were leaving Horford wide open. They didn't do that today. They made a much more concerted effort to defend the 3-point line.
Yep.
And obviously, like, we knew that adjustment was coming. What we didn't know was that the Celtics were going to fucking turn the ball over. And I've been talking about this all playoffs long about the Boston Celtics. They go in these lulls because they don't have a point guard where they just make boneheaded decisions. And, you got to credit the Warriors defense, but, you go back and you look at some of the turnovers that they made. I mean, some of them were like unforced. Like, you're talking about just throwing passes and the guy's not even there.
Yeah.
And the Warriors get it and just run the other way. Like, it was just, they weren't on the same page. And we've seen this throughout the playoffs with this team. So, I mean, I think we all expected the Warriors to come back and win game 2. I don't think anyone expected Boston to leave Golden State, to leave San Francisco up 2-0.
Unless you're a Boston fan. But
Oh my god, dude! Boston fans have been so fucking obnoxious on Twitter the last week, dude.
Absolutely. Well, I think just the production from the starters, I think was, another big aspect of the game. Not getting the wide open shots like they got, in game one, and getting the contested and not being able to drop them. I mean, you had Horford 1 for 4 today, Williams 1 for 1, but he only took one shot in his 14 minutes of play. Marcus Smart 1 for 6, 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. Like they weren't getting clean shots, and they weren't dropping like they initially did in game one. I mean, when you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on your bench outscoring 3 of your starters, you're never going to win a game.
Yeah, I mean, the bench basically played the whole fourth quarter, because once Jordan Poole hit that 3 at the end, I mean, it was over, dude.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, this game is done. But like, I don't know. Yeah, there was things from game one that weren't going to be sustainable for Boston. There was things that happened in game one that weren't going to be sustainable for the Warriors either. Like, Curry's not going to go 6 for 8 from 3 in one quarter in a game.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at this game for the Celtics, and it's like, okay, like 33 points off of turnovers. That was really the big difference in the game. Mm-hmm. Like, they have to take care of the ball much better. They're able to do that. They're a much more efficient team. I think they also have to figure out ways to like get the right mismatches onto Tatum and Brown, because in the second half they were making it very difficult on Jason Tatum. Like, every time he was getting the ball, he had multiple defenders on him, and the Warriors were rotating off of him passing to open players. But in game one, he had 13 assists. In this game, how many assists do you have in this game? 3 assists and 4 turnovers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not you can't win a game like that. So I think this series it's a coin flip at this point. But if you're Boston, you leave San Francisco with one win. I mean, that's what you went there to do. You went there to take a game and steal home court, and you've done that. Now you have to go back to Boston, and you have to take care of home court. And if they do that, they're going to win the series, obviously. But
I mean, that's something we saw last series, them struggle with, is that home court advantage. I mean, even probably the last 2 series, is that they played a lot better on the road than they did at home.
I mean, they play up and down no matter where they're at. They're fucking weird. They're a great defensive team. Like, you're going to get good defense. Like, the Warriors blew them out today, and the Warriors only scored how much? 106 points? Like, they didn't even really have a good offensive game. That's what I'm saying. Like, those turnovers were the big difference. 33 points off turnovers is huge, because a lot of those buckets are against non-set defense.
Yeah.
And that's what the Celtics are good at. And if you look at the Bucks series, the games they lost were the games they had stupid turnovers, 15-plus turnovers. Same with the Heat series. So it's like, the one thing they have to do is take care of the basketball. And that's the issue, is they don't have a true point guard, which gets them into problems, because Tatum is not a true point guard. Jaylen Brown is not a true point guard. Marcus Smart, he is more of a point guard, but he still makes fucking boneheaded plays. He had 5 turnovers today. You know what I mean? So I think you look at this series from either team, whatever side you're on, and I think you're feeling comfortable heading into game 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're the Warriors, you're like, okay, Horford and Derek White weren't going to sustain what they did game 1. Game 2, totally different game, right? Horford only had 2 points all game. Derek White was a little bit better, but he still wasn't that as great as he was in game 1. And Marcus Smart only 2 points, 5 turnovers in the game. So you're like, okay, that's cool. This is more even than what we thought it was going to be. And then if you're the Celtics, same thing. You're looking at it like, all right, dude, the Warriors scored 107 points. We basically beat ourselves because we turned the ball over so much. Like, we just have to hang on to the basketball. So I think both teams are pretty feeling good about themselves heading into game 3. And I think the series price band only proves it, because it's basically a coin flip, -115 for the Celtics, -105 for the Warriors. Obviously, the Celtics are going to have a little bit more of an edge because they have home court advantage now.
Yeah. Yeah. What's one thing you want to see, I guess, out of each team moving forward? Because in my eyes, I want to see, Klay Thompson get into a better groove. I mean, 4 for 19 today, only 11 points. Did not shoot the ball well at all. 1 for 8 from the 3-point line too. He needs to get into this game to really push the Warriors over the edge. What do you see as for Boston, what do they need to kind of push them over the edge? Just holding on to the ball?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to take care of the basketball. And I think that's the biggest thing. You do that, and, things are going to.
Who needs to step up? How about that?
Well, I mean, if you're Jason Tatum, like, you're the best player on this team. Yeah, you scored better tonight, but you had 4 turnovers, only 3 assists, so
minus 36.
Minus 36 on the floor as well.
Yeah.
And then, Jaylen Brown, outside of the first quarter, he had 13 points in the first quarter, and they only scored 4 points the rest of the game. So I think as a team, like I said, dude, like I've been saying this all playoffs long, dude. The Celtics just get into these lulls where they just look like shit, and it's mind-blowing. Then the next game, they fucking hold their opponent to 60 points and win by 40. Like, that's just how this whole series, this whole playoffs has been going. So I think for the Celtics, just hang on to the basketball and let your set defense win you the game, because that's what you want to do. I also think for the Warriors too, Ben, is that, like, Klay Thompson hasn't played good, but he's been up and down all playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. The other one is Jordan Poole. Like, he scored 17 points today on 6 of 14 shooting, but he only had like 6 points heading into the fourth quarter when the Celtics like pulled the plug and put all their bench guys in. So I think it was important for him to kind of get going a little bit, no matter who was on the floor. I think that's good for him, because the Warriors are going to, like, if you told me before the game that Wiggins was going to score 11, Klay Thompson was going to score 11, and Curry was going to score 29, I would have been like, there's no way the Warriors win that game. Mm-hmm. There's no fucking way. So I think for them, it's important that they get Jordan Poole and or Andrew Wiggins or Klay Thompson, like a combination of the 2 of the 3. I think they have to get going along with Curry's production, because the home court is going to change a lot of things, dude, because role players typically do play better at home throughout the course of NBA history than they do on the road. So it's interesting to see how the Warriors players are going to react to a hostile environment on the road. Yep. Obviously, Curry, Klay Thompson, they've been there, but Poole and Wiggins really haven't. You know what I mean? So this is new territory for them. So that's something I'm interested for the Warriors. But like I said, if I'm either team, or I'm a fan of either of these teams, or I'm backing either teams, I'm pretty confident right now. Like, I feel like either way, both teams are feeling good about themselves a little bit.
Yeah. Still sticking with your 6 games, 7 games?
Yeah, I like Celtics in 6. Their defense is just too good, dude. And I've seen it throughout the playoffs, and they've had these games every series. So it's nothing out of the norm. They took one in San Francisco, dude. That's all they had to do. Mm-hmm. And now they just got to take care of business at home, and they'll be fine. And, maybe the Warriors split at home, but, Celtics are capable of winning on the road. They've proven that. So I like the Celtics in 6 here.
Still think you're crazy. Dubs in 7.
Bro, everyone and their mom is on the Warriors, though.
Yep.
That's why.
For a reason.
Contrarian.
That's for a reason.
But, I mean, the market says otherwise. Market's favoring the Celtics minus 115 right now, even after getting tied up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So,
well, you made it right. They do have home court advantage. Now they have to take game 3 to really kind of push that home court advantage. And that's going to be the interesting kind of route to play out. So we've got our bet on this game. We've got some money, or not on this game, but on this series. So we've got some money riding on it, and we'll see how things go in the future.
Yes, sir. All right, let's talk about the NHL playoffs. So tonight we had the New York Rangers, or today I should say. This game was pretty early. Head into Tampa. Tampa won 3-2. The Rangers still lead the series 2-1. They're still the favorite on the series price, minus 140. Tampa Bay plus 120. What's your thoughts on this game 3 and this series?
Yeah, I mean, the Rangers have really come out, a lot stronger than I have really expected them to, and I'm really excited to see how they've really produced. I think we can really push this offensive and defensive prowess that they have to, really, kind of push the kind of series into their hands here. Lightning have not been playing as strong as they should be. They've been, subpar offensively, and their defense has not really stacked up, and a lot of that has had to do with Matt Vasilevsky. And they had a huge game for game one in this series, which was so many more points than I expected them either team to put up, and that 6-2 win. Hitting the over was a surprise on that one. But I think things have kind of come back down to earth, and we've seen that in game two and game three being 3-2 finals, one in each direction here. So I do think that this is going to go the distance into 7 games, and we're just going to go back and forth with these. I think they're going to be low scoring games. I think they're going to be close games, and it's really going to be on whether Vasilevsky or Shesterkin can really push things out. And right now, Shesterkin is doing that. And it's been fun to watch because he's been impressive. I said it on Wednesday's podcast. Like, I'm so glad that Reeves is out of the West. And he's he's playing on the East Coast teams now, because now I can like him. And he's just that pest that not only gets under the team's skin, but also like he can play hockey, which a lot of these pests really can't do. So I'm really impressed with the way that they've really pushed things forward. Their offense is going well, their defense is going well. They just have to stay out of the box. Don't let Tampa Bay get in on the power play here.
They 2 power play goals today. I thought the Rangers were in a good position because they were hot. Igor Shesterkin, I mean, he played well today, don't get me wrong. But he was like ultra hot coming into the game. So I felt like they were in a position where they win game 3 and the series is over, right? Like they even if Tampa Bay wins game 4, they go back home and win game 5, like the series is over, right? I think that the win today by Tampa Bay, and especially the way they won, like in the last minute, giving up a goal like that is like heartbreaking, bro. And I think they could have stolen a little bit of momentum. Plus, Tampa Bay is a championship caliber team, and you can never underestimate the heart of a champion. That's a narrative, but it is true. I mean, I was really confident about the Rangers in this series, but the way they lost today, and I thought they had a prime opportunity, Ben, and I think they might have let it get it. I think they might have let it slip out of their hands.
I don't think they've necessarily let it slip out of their hands. I think if they lose game 4, then if it evens up and this becomes a best of 3 series, I think that's when we really kind of think that, okay, maybe here comes Tampa Bay. Not only do they have the momentum after winning 3 and 4,
it's 2-2. It's a new series basically.
Exactly, and I think that's when things are going to really show, the veteran and young presence in your locker room, because Tampa Bay is full of vets. They know how to win. And if it becomes a best of 3 series and they come back from being down 2 games, I think that's what really deflates the Rangers and really gives Tampa Bay that kind of push to win this series. That's going to be as far as they go, but it's it's a really big kind of game of tug of war right here. And momentum in hockey is huge.
Momentum's huge, and I agree with you. Like if the Rangers do not win game 4, like if I'm a Rangers player, like this is a must win for me, dude. Like we have 100%. To win this game, dude. If we don't, I think this could be problems, dude. And as somebody that has a future on the Rangers, like that does worry me. But at least I can hedge it with the Lightning here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's the only future that you'll have in play right now.
Yeah, no, the other one's toast, dude. The other one is absolute toast. So let's talk about that series. So Edmonton, Colorado Avalanche, I mean, just completely in control of this series. 3 games to nothing. I texted you in the middle of game 2, and I was like, dude, this is going to be a sweep, bro. This shit is over. And the reason why I said that is because game 2, I mean, you could just totally see Colorado had really strategized and changed their scheme to stop Connor McDavid in the neutral zone, so they weren't letting him get a total head of speed. And it really changed everything. And obviously Colorado is very deep. What's your thoughts on this series though?
Yeah, it's Colorado is really deep, and that's a good thing because of Kane taking out Kadri, and I don't believe Kadri is going to be playing.
No, he's out for the series, they said.
Yeah, in game 4, he might be able to come back for maybe 6 or 7, but it's not going to get that far. But the good thing is that they do have a deep enough offense. They do have a strong offensive like defenseman that can really take up that missing link that they're going to have with Kadri.
Yep.
I think winning game 4 is going to be monumental for the Avalanche because they will get that rest, because we know the Rangers and Lightning series is going to go distance. And I think that's definitely something that they can utilize to their advantage, because even though they are winning this and winning it quickly, the Oilers are a tough team. They hit and play with a lot of aggression, and like that is something that I'm surprised how well Colorado is taking those hits and pushing the play and
I
taking
felt like they were
of.
the one. I feel like the last 2 games, they were the ones like dominating the physicality.
Hits have still been kind of pushing towards.
But I'm talking like throwing your body out for blocks and shit too. Like that says something. And the Avalanche had 13 blocks to the Oilers 7 in the last game. I just felt like they were the more aggressive team, I guess, sort of say, because the Avalanche were 0 for 5 on the power play. So
yeah,
and they got 4 goals.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just a better team overall, and I think their defense is just so much better, dude.
And that's the big thing. And that's that's something that I at least mentioned from the beginning of the this series, is that the Oilers can score, but they're going to give up a lot of goals. One, because of the way Mark Smith has been playing, and how he is such a Jekyll and Hyde goalie. If
he played great last game and they lost,
he played good. But when he gets on his lulls, if he lets one kind of soft goal go,
yeah, he's a different.
That's
goalie.
it. Yeah, it gets in his head, and that's going to always be a problem for Mark Smith. And I think he just signed like a 3 or 4 year deal. So that's going to be tough for Edmonton moving forward, because he is such a a goalie that gets in his head, and that can cause major problems.
That's true. You think the Avs sweep it, or you think it's gonna be a gentleman sweep?
I'm gonna go with the Avs sweeping.
I think so
Kadri
too,
out
dude.
is going to be a big hit for Colorado, but Evander Kane being out, just got suspended for a game on that hit on Kadri,
which was evens it out.
Dirty. Yeah, it does. It evens it out. And the way that Kane has been playing in these playoffs, that's a big hit for Edmonton. He is no McDavid, but that's a big hit for Edmonton, because that's another line getting the production that they.
Plus, he's really like their, I wouldn't say enforcer, but he is one of their more physical forwards.
They're aggressors. Yeah, I definitely say that.
So, yeah, I agree with you, dude. That's a huge loss. And, yeah, I actually like the Avs -1.5. I'm going to talk about it later, but I think this one's over, dude. I said after game 2 is going to be a sweep. Dude, they got to get McDavid out of the Edmonton, bro.
Yeah, they really do. They really do. That team has so much offensive firepower. It's just unfortunate that their defensemen are.
Well, that's what happens when you spend all your money on that. So, like,
yeah,
they either have to, like, hit the lottery and get a guy on the cheap who's, like, a great goaltender, because, like, they don't have a ton of money, you know what I mean? Like, where are they going to get money to spend on players? So,
yeah. Well, it's just like Tyson Barrie. He's a good defenseman. He's really regressed in the last few years. You've got Corey Ceci, who was supposed to have huge potential. He lost it when he was in Toronto. I mean, you've got Duncan Keith, who's 30 million years old. And then you've got Darnell Nurse, who's, again, a good defenseman, but nobody who really pushes you over that edge.
Yeah.
And they definitely need someone to do that.
They should trade for Brent Burns.
I was just going to say that. I'll gladly give him over there.
Or Erik Karlsson. They could take either one. They could trade for him.
Take your pick. Take your pick. I mean, that would be good for them offensively, to get an offensive defenseman in there. They'd probably have to give up some money coming back. And, that's I mean, looking at it, is probably going to be maybe Nugent Hopkins, maybe Zach Cassian. Because they're going to have to, lose some salary there. So,
I mean, they probably have some guys coming off the books too, especially with like a guy like Duncan Keith. I can't imagine he's on like a long deal.
No, but he's also on a small deal.
Oh, really?
And you've got to deal with Carlson and or Burns, getting $9 million plus. So
yeah, that's true. I mean, they got to figure out something on that defense too, because that's really their biggest weakness.
Yeah.
Or they just got to get a goaltender that like is consistently standing on his head. But like I said, those dudes don't come around very often, and when they do, they get swooped up. So shall be interesting what the Oilers do going forward, because obviously they got Connor McDavid, best player in hockey. So we'll see. We both like them sweeping though. So
yeah, I didn't ask you about the Tampa Bay and New York's series. What do you think? How's that gonna end?
Bro, I think a lot has to do with Game 4, dude. I think the winner of Game 4 probably wins the series.
Yeah.
I would say, like, this is the thing is, like, the Rangers, they were down 0-2 against Carolina, and they took care of business at home, right? The Rangers have been really good at home, but Tampa is a little different than Carolina because they've been there.
Yeah. I'm going to go Rangers in 6.
So you think they're going to win Game 4?
I think they're going to win Game 4, probably lose Game 5, and then win in Tampa Bay.
I think if they win Game 4, they win Game 5.
Yeah. Tampa Bay will give some fight. They're not going to give up.
Could be the end of an era, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Edmonton's going to give up, and that's why we're going to see a sweep here.
Yeah, no, they especially the way they lost in Game 3, dude, because they came back within 2, and then they fucking gave up a goal with like less than 3 minutes left, dude, and they got an empty netter. So I mean, it was just like heartbreaking, dude. Especially when you're down 2-0, and Game 3 was obviously a must-win for them. So I mean, I think their hearts are broke. Like they're 1-2-3 Cancun, let's go, dude.
Yeah. And with Smith playing a good game, and he still saved 93% of the shots.
That's what I'm saying. He had a great game, dude.
Yeah.
He had a couple saves that were like incredible, Ben. Like that game should have been like 7-2, dude.
Yeah.
But he had some incredible saves. He had that one where he like flipped upside down and like the backside of his glove fucking hit the puck on a wide open net, dude. I was just like, you son of a bitch, because I had fucking Colorado -1.5.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, if I was backing Edmonton, that would have been a goal for sure, dude. For sure, that would have been a goal.
Yeah.
Because that's my luck.
We got Avalanche versus the Oilers, Game 4, tomorrow night on TNT.
On TNT. The TNT broadcast is actually really great.
Yeah.
However, whoever their director is or producer, they need to get their shit together on the graphics, because they always be letting the power play go like halfway through before they put the time up on the screen.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? There's only a minute left?
Yeah. What happened?
And that shit's annoying when you're watching it, especially at a bar when it's hella loud and you can't hear shit.
Yeah.
So if you're work for TNT, let them know. Just tell them, dude. Or tell them to hire me.
There we go.
You know, that could also work. All right, let's take a break real quick, and then we'll hop back in here and we'll talk some Major League Baseball, and then we'll do our best bets, and we'll get out of here. So stay locked. We will be right back. All right, we are back. Yeah, I told you it was green, dude.
Yeah.
I told you it was green. Welcome back, everybody. Thank y'all for staying locked with us. Damn, Ben, I gotta hear about that beer because I told you I saw it yesterday, dude, when I was at the brewery. Yeah. Someone was drinking one, and I was like, damn, that shit is green as fuck, dude.
Green. So, yeah, so we're going to get into beer number 2. I'm going with another great notion, and this is called Bicycle Bay.
Oh, yeah.
This is a tart ale with peach, apricot, pineapple, car orange, and natural flavors and certified color. And what is that certified color? Bright green. Ooh. Definitely a bright green. This would be a wonderful beer to be drinking on St. Patty's Day. I'm a little bit behind the times by about 2 months, but
they probably didn't even have it out at St. Patty's Day, though.
No, it did not. It came out. Well, this one was brewed on April 7th, so
pretty recent.
Yeah, still about 2 months old. This is just about right when we should be drinking this and ending kind of the fresh, like the most fresh of the beer that you're really going to be getting. So yeah. I'm glad I'm drinking this right now. 7.5%, and it is green. It smells absolutely amazing. Great floral notes, fruity notes as well. Nice, really excited about this one.
Yeah, I got another sour ale. So I'm drinking the Fat Orange Cat Walkabout. It's a sour ale with watermelon and blueberry. It's 5.3%. It's got a nice shaky red color to it. You can absolutely fucking smell the blueberries. Holy shit. It literally just smells like blueberries. Man, if y'all could smell this shit right now, it smells like a fucking blueberry muffin.
Hell yeah. Love those beers. There's another great notion at my my local shop, and it was called Baked. Almost got it. It was another one of those blueberry muffin.
They did another one before, right? The blueberry muffin one. And that one really smelled like blueberry muffin, but
that one did.
I thought the taste on that one is smelling blueberry muffin, but it didn't have like a blueberry taste, so it kind of like threw me off.
Yep, absolutely.
A little weird. But if you guys go back, I'm sure it's on like one of our first like 20 episodes we did that beer.
Yep.
Man, we drink a lot of beer over the year. 2 years.
I mean, we're on episode 105, so
and we're coming up on 2 years, Ben.
Yeah, each of us has drank 210 beers.
Whew.
Plus or minus a few.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely true. Plus or minus a few. Yeah, because I mean, we've had some shows where we did 3. We've had some where we did 1.
Yep.
Good times, man. Good times. But let's hop into some Major League Baseball, Ben. So before we give out our top 5 teams of the week, I did have to bring this up because, I mean, this shit has been absolute fucking comedy, dude, to watch, especially as an A's fan, because I fucking hate the Angels. But I'm still like, I keep it real when I have to. But Angels, 11 straight losses, Ben, and I said this when I put them in my top 5 like 3 weeks ago. I was like, bro, the regression is coming in the pitching sooner or later.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it has just been cheeks, dude. But their whole team has been cheeks. What's your thoughts on the Angels recently? There's 11 games in a row they've lost, dude.
Yeah, 11 games, which is definitely a big surprise to see. I'm just pulling up who they've lost these games to, and it's been pretty surprising here. Whether it's been the Phillies, the Yankees. Yeah, I can understand that them they lose that series, but
that series wasn't even competitive, dude. Like the Yankees smacked them.
Yep, exactly. Losing 4 to the Blue Jays, 1-1 with the Rangers.
Yep.
Well, 2 of 3. Well, they took 2 of 3, with the A's, but like they've had a really, easy season, and they should be really kind of pushing things up the standings. And, as of today, they're below 500, which is incredibly surprising to me. I didn't expect them to be at this position. I thought they'd take the AL West no problem.
Nah, you picked the Mariners.
I did pick the Mariners, but like
who also are sucking.
Exactly. I thought we'd see a huge regression out of Houston. But LA 8.5 games back now after this horrible, losing streak of 11.
Yeah. No, they're I mean, dude, it wasn't sustainable. Like, they have a guy in their starting rotation who they just drafted last year out of the University of Arizona. His first two starts, he looked decent, but he only had like 3 strikeouts in 2 starts. And that's the one thing in Major League Baseball is that is the biggest telltale sign of like how dominant a pitcher is. If his strikeout numbers aren't high, it usually means he's not that good of a pitcher, because at some point those balls that are getting hit to people are not going to get hit to people. You know what I mean?
You're talking
Detmers and who's the guy they drafted last year from Arizona? It starts with S.
Sandoval?
No, since
Suarez?
no, Silseth.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's only pitched 16 innings, which is
because he got fucking knocked around after his 2 good starts.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, dude, in 2 starts, his 2 good starts were against the A's, who are basically a fucking college team. Like, let's be serious. And he didn't even look that good in those starts. And then I kept telling people, like, bro, Detmers, he pitched a no-hitter. He's not that kind of pitcher. Like, I've seen Sean Manaea throw 2 no-hitters in his career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Sean Manaea's not an ace by any stretch of the imagination. So at some point, the Angels pitching was going to come down to earth. Yeah. I didn't expect it to, like, come crashing down to earth. You know what I mean? Where, like, they can't even – every game that I see them now, they're giving up 6-7 runs a game, dude.
Yeah. I mean, and it's unfortunate because I think Detmers has great potential.
Yeah,
just
young,
not
dude.
with the Angels. Yeah. They're not getting him any run support, which he needs. And, that's
he's also not helping him in his last few starts.
True. Still a sub-4 ERA. Or no, sorry, 4.2. I was looking at
but Ohtani. And like 5 starts ago, Ben, he was like a 1.97 ERA.
Yeah. I mean, he's still a good pitcher. I think he's got good potential.
But there's good pitchers and there's like top of the rotation kind of guys, and that's what the Angels don't have, a top of the rotation kind of guy. Noah Syndergaard is no longer that dude. He's not throwing 98. He's gotten knocked around in 3 of his last 5 starts. So that's their issue, and they don't ever address it. They just try to patch it. Now, are these young guys that they have, like, what's his name? From Arizona, what's his name? Silseth. Is he going to be good in the future? Maybe, but not this year. And they need him this year. You know what I mean? Like, and I also think the other thing I also think is that in the first couple, like, 6 weeks of the season, I felt like all their bats were just hot. You know what I mean? And then they all cooled off at the same time. And that's the thing in a Major League Baseball season, you have to have guys that get hot at different times, you know what I mean? Because you're going to go through slumps, dude. That's baseball.
Yeah.
But because Mike Trout's been dog shit the last 2 weeks, too.
He has, yeah. When Matt Duffy is your number 2.
Matt Duffy's actually looked good, though.
Well, yeah, but he's number 2 batting, who's good, but nothing special. That's going to cause major issues there.
Yeah, and, Rendon, a guy they paid fucking, what is it, like $185 million for. That dude's never fucking healthy.
Yep.
And and a big part of their slump is when he got hurt. You know? So
and Ohtani's coming down to, down to life.
Ohtani came down to earth in the second half of last year.
Yeah.
And I told you, Ben, it's tough to pitch and hit in a 162 Major League game season, dude.
Yeah.
Because these pitchers that are great, they're going through routines every day to pitch 1 game every 5 days.
Yeah.
Whereas he's playing, like, swinging a bat, and I don't know how sustainable that is. And he's not the one thing I've noticed this year in Major League Baseball, Ben, is that hitters, and it's because there's so much data out there, and it comes to mind because I was watching the Blue Jays Twins game today, and Kevin Gausman was on the mound, and the Twins hitters were not swinging at his splitter or his circle change. Like, every time he threw it, they were letting him throw it because he wasn't throwing strikes with it. But every time he would get in, he would throw a fastball in the zone. They were hitting it.
Yeah.
Like he threw like 40% of his pitches were in the strike zone. 91% of those pitches he threw in the strike zone got hit.
Yeah.
Like at least made contact. So and that's dangerous. You know what I mean? Like you can't fool these major league hitters are tough to fool. They're great hitters. You know what I mean? Like great players. So I don't know, man. The Ohtani is a pitcher, like, and I feel like all these Japanese pitchers have the same issue where everything they throw just has so much movement, dude, that once hitters just start laying off and they're like, okay, like, I'm just going to make you come in the strike zone, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Pitch me a fastball. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to wait. Like, I'll get to 3-0 and I'm going to force you to throw me a pitch in the strike zone. And once you do, I'm fucking hit it out. And I feel like, you know, it happened with Daisuke in Boston. Like, he was really great his first year. It happened with Hideki Nomo back in the 90s. Like, he was great when he first came up, and then he really struggled. Happened with Yu Darvish, right? Happened with, like, it happens to a lot of these Japanese pitchers. I mean, the level of batting from Japan to the Major League Baseball, because Major League Baseball is the best players in the world. It's the best players from Japan. It's the best players from the Caribbean. It's the best players from everywhere. So America, they're tough to fool, you know what I mean? So I think he'll ultimately be fine as a pitcher, but at some point, they're going to have to either be like, okay, you're going to be an everyday player or you're going to be a pitcher. Like, you got to do one or the other, dude. I just don't think it's sustainable doing both. Yeah. It was cool for a year for marketing, but, like, I don't know. What's your thoughts on the two-way player? Because, you know, Hunter Green for the Reds, Ben, he was a great shortstop, right? But the Reds drafted him. They're like, nah, bro, you throw 100. Like, you're just going to pitch, dude. You know what I mean? Like, we ain't going to waste our time having you try to play in the outfield and stuff. You throw gas. You're pitching, dude.
Yeah. I mean, the two-way player, I think, is a great, you know, it's a great player to have, but I think you're absolutely right. It's not sustainable in really any, you know, any league, either Japan or here, just because you've got so many players who have been focusing on either batting or pitching for such a long time. And there's so much emphasis on, you know, how to read the ball, how to read you know, the rotations on both sides of the plate here, whether you're pitching or if you're batting, that having to know how to react as a batter, even if you're a 1/10 of a second, 100th of a second too late, that's going to cause major issues, you know, with your at bat. So, like, I'm surprised that Ohtani is as good as he is as a batter and as a pitcher. But I think, you know, that's why we don't see things, you know, this happen too often in Major League Baseball, is because you have so many people who specialize at either one or the other. And, you know, even once we get to high school baseball now, you're either separated as a batter or you're separated as a pitcher. And that's when you lose so many at-bats, plate appearances, you know, as a batter when you're pitching, because only the MLB has this, you know, this emphasis on wanting that dual player. I mean, I guess you'd want a dual player, whether you're in college or.
Well, I mean, he was good last year as both. You know what I mean? Yeah. But like, we saw him tail off at the end of the year because it's tough to do over the course of a regular season. Yeah. And it was great for marketing, especially because they have like MLB The Show now, and Road to the Show is literally fucking centered around being a two-way player, which I think every kid wants to, like, you know, you want to be a great pitcher and a great hitter, dude.
That's and you want to hit dingers,
yeah, dude. That's what every kid wants to do.
Everybody wants to hit dingers. Yeah.
It's like, it's great, and you know, it was cool for a year, but I just and the Angels stunk last year, so it was like it gave him relevancy. But now it's like, okay, he's not really great at either of them, so.
It reminds me of that LSU pitcher who came in, you know, I think it was in like the 10th or 11th inning, and you know, they needed a batter to DH. And,
and he hit a dinger, dude.
Yeah, he hit a jack, and you know, him telling his coach like, "Oh yeah, I hit all the time in high school," and then we come out, you know, in the post game conferences, and he's like, "Sorry, I lied to you. Like, I haven't hit since Little League."
Oh, dude, and he got a fucking home run.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
Good. That's a good average, 1,000.
Yeah, absolutely is. But like, that's the thing. Like you stop practicing how to hit, and you have to have someone who's going to be pitching in the 10th, 11th inning.
Yeah.
Who's not going to be a high quality pitcher to hit something well.
Hey, Buster Posey was a closer in college, and he played everywhere in college. So college is just different. Speaking of college, Ben, your Stanford Cardinal up 8-4 heading into the top of the 9th inning right now.
Nice, love it.
So
are they home or away?
Well, they're considered away, but they're playing at Stanford. But this is an elimination game. Or I'm sorry, they're technically the home team. 8-4, top of the 9th right now. So,
so they just need 3 outs.
Yeah, they just need 3 outs. And they are into the super regional, as they call it.
Exactly.
I was bummed, dude, because I thought, UC Santa Barbara over the course of the year was like really good, and so was Stanford, obviously, like top 5 team all year. And then they played earlier today, elimination game, and UC Santa Barbara, the Gauchos didn't pull it out. Yeah, I was kind of bummed because I wanted to see I want all the West Coast teams to make it, obviously, but I thought the Gauchos had a shot. But man, Stanford, hoping they can represent the West and
they're a great team this year. It's been fun to go to those games.
Yeah, they always have a good team, man.
Great diamond at the farm, as we call it, and
the great Jed Lowry, famous Stanford Cardinal.
Yep, absolutely. We've got a few.
Yeah, there's what's his name? Jason Castro, the catcher for the Astros. Who else they got from Stanford?
We were talking about it earlier. Brock's going to get taken first round.
He's going to get drafted in the first round this year.
Yeah.
They got some good players.
Couple pitchers as well.
Well, they had Mark Appleby was a first overall pick, but he never panned out. I don't know whatever happened to him. That's a tough thing about drafting pitchers from college, dude.
Yeah.
It's just such a different – the pro game to even the AAA games are just totally different, dude. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the AAA to college is like insane, dude. It's just insane how good professional baseball players are at what they do.
Let's see. So Chris Bubik, Nico Horner, Quantrill.
Chad Quantrill.
Yeah, Cal Quantrill. Austin Slater.
Oh yeah,
Steven Piscotty.
Oh, fucking Piscotty.
Snodgrass. Eric Davis.
Nice.
Jason Castro, we just mentioned. John Hester. Jed Lowry.
Dude, Jed Lowry, the GOAT of Arizona baseball, except for John Elway.
Let's see. There's somebody else that a big name that I'm not thinking of. An older guy. Oh, Messina. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Mike Messina. Yeah. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah. Yeah, they just don't. Unfortunately, they don't have the same baseball alumni as a great school down in Southern California, USC.
Yeah.
Randy Johnson, Mark McGuire, Barry Zito. Whoo! Hall of Famer on top of Hall of Famers, Ben. That's what we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways, let's get to our top 5 teams. So I know both of us have some movement because we had a wild week where we saw a few of our top 5 teams take a dip. So let's hear your top 5 this week, Ben.
Yeah. I looked over our notes afterwards, and unfortunately they are pretty similar here, but we are going to go number 5. There are some differences. Number 5, I'm going to go Toronto here, at 31-22 on the season, 8-2 in their last 10 games. They are really heating up. They don't have, a tough game going forward until the 17th against the Yankees. They've got the Oilers, the Tigers, and the Orioles. I do this every single week when it's hockey time. Orioles, Tigers, and Royals.
Hey, don't sleep on the Orioles, though, bro.
They're all well below 500. And
the Orioles are a tough game, though, dude. They might lose, but they're going to make you earn that W.
Absolutely, and that's going to be putting up a lot of runs. So I think that's going to be a good way to boost their number 11th ranked offense here. I think number 6 on defense, which is or in pitching, which is really good as well for Toronto. Oh, thought I was going to sneeze there. Number 4, we're going to go with Houston. 35-19 overall 7-3 in this last week. Easier last week with the Royals and the A's. They do have the Mariners, the Marlins, and the Rangers coming up, so I think this is going to be a good kind of 2-week stretch for them. 4th overall in offense, 6th overall in defense. They need to be in the top 5, and they're really proving it here. They do have one of the easier strengths of schedules in the first half, which is a reason why they are doing very well right now. Number 3, we're going to go with the LA Dodgers, moving down from number 1. 5-5 this last week, best offensive team in baseball with 11.6 WAR. Biggest thing for me is the 10.8% walks. It just kind of really shows their knowledge at the plate. They did drop because of a 3-game sweep to the Pirates, and let's talk about the Pirates. But number 7 should be the Pirates, or sorry, number 2 it should be the Pirates.
The Dodgers.
Pirates own the Dodgers. Number 2 should be the Pirates because they just destroy the Dodgers, but it is going to be the New York Mets. 37-19, 8-2 in their last 10. Split the series with the Dodgers, which I'm really impressed with. And the only thing that we need to know of why they're number 2 on the list is because they did not get swept by the Pirates. And number 1 is going to be the New York Yankees. 39-15, 8-2 in this last 10. Really impressed with their home record here. 23-7, and a lot of that does push being on a good 6-game win streak right now with sweeps of the Angels and the Tigers. They're winning against the teams that they need to win against, and they've opened up a 7.5 game lead in the AL East. 79 homers, the top of the MLB, and they hit the long ball. They make their fans happy. So good last week, good last 2 weeks for the New York Yankees.
Yeah, I'll get to the Yankees in a second, but my top 5 definitely changed along with you, Ben. So on the outside looking in, I've dropped the Brewers from the top 5 because they literally can't hit for shit.
Nope.
And Corbin Burns has more walks this season than he did in the entire first half of last season. So he's kind of not having such a good year. And with Freddie Peralta being out, I think it's going to be a little bit tough. And then I got the Padres as well because although they won 3 of 4 against Milwaukee, they got swept by St. Louis. And I also have Toronto on the outside looking in, mainly because I am worried about their starting rotation. And my number 5 team, the Minnesota Twins, just took 2 of 3 of that from them in the series. And they had an up and down week. They couldn't hit versus the Tigers, but then they bounced back and beat a red hot Blue Jays team, dude. So these are both, teams that could be in the playoffs. And I just thought the Minnesota Twins showed a little bit more. Plus, they absolutely annihilated Gausman today, dude. Like, Gausman looked like shit. Number 4, Houston Astros, 35-19. Basically the same things you said. Like, they had a great week. They did play the A's and Royals, but they're second in run differential, and they played a lot more road games than they have home games this year. So they're about to have some home cooking in the next couple weeks. So we could see them, really enhance their record, Ben. Number 3, I'm going Dodgers. Same thing with you, dude. I do have concerns about their starting rotation. I said it last week. Saying it again this week. Walker Buehler has not been pitching good this year. I talked about it earlier about guys laying off pitches out of the zone. Walker Buehler is another prime example because he is getting, 86% of his pitches in the zone are getting hit. So he is having some issues, Ben. Dodgers are going to need to address it soon. Number 2, I'm going New York Mets, just like you, 37-19. Just split a 4-game series with the Dodgers, best record in National League. And Pete Alonso is the NL MVP, in my opinion, right now, Ben. And then number 1, I am with you. I'm going the Stankies from New York. But at some point, dude, I'm telling you, this team is going to regress because this rotation is like fucking pitching out of this world. And it's literally a bunch of Jags, except for Garrett Cole. So at some point, I expect some regression. And, this team hits a lot of solo home runs. So I think it's going to hurt at some point. Aaron Judge has 20 home runs and 41 RBIs, dude.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane.
Yeah.
So I think at some point, like, I don't know if it's sustainable. Obviously, like, they're the best team right now, but I just think at some point their offense is going to regress and their pitching is going to regress, and it may happen at the same time, similar to what's happening with the Angels right now. Except not as bad because they have better starters. And they have Garrett Cole. So Garrett Cole at least could should. That's why you pay guys to be aces so you don't go in big losing streaks.
Yep. Hey, before we get into our best bets here, gotta ask you, Wayne Gretzky's final Edmonton Oilers jersey. $1.4 million. Too much, too little.
Like authentic, like he wore it.
Like, yeah, he wore it. Just sold at auction today for $1.452.
I mean, Kobe's jersey sold for that he wore his rookie year sold for $2.73 million. So I don't know.
Previous hockey record was $1.3 million for Paul Henderson.
Who the fuck is that?
Henderson from 1972 Summit Series jersey.
Oh, dude, then obviously you're getting good value because Wayne Gretzky's the greatest player of all time.
Yep.
I'd rather have a Wayne Gretzky fucking rookie jersey though.
It's true. Same auction. Gretzky's gloves from the same Stanley Cup clinching game sold for $204,000. I'd rather have the gloves at $204 than the jersey at $1.4.
Yeah, I feel like jerseys are just easier to display though.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, your Stanford Cardinal won.
There we go.
Congratulations.
There we go.
Moving on to the Super Regional.
Good day at work tomorrow.
All right.
All right, Ben. Let's get some best bets for the people for Monday. Let's hear yours.
Got to bring it this week because I did not do well last week, going 0-2. Had the Mets and Nationals first 5 under 4.5. That was a big loss. I think they scored like 17 runs that game. And then we had Carolina. Yeah.
Hey, but honestly, Ben, I'd rather have those kind of losses than having one that like you lose on a bad beat.
Yeah. Yep. And then had Carolina and the New York Rangers under 5.5. And that was also a big pile of shit. But we are going to move to some hockey props for tomorrow because I wanted to take a baseball game, but Jordan is going to be talking about the baseball bet that I wanted to make as well. So I very much condone his baseball bet. So make sure you take that into account. But we're going to go props for the hockey game tomorrow. The first is going to be Nathan MacKinnon over 0.5 goals. So he's going to score a goal tomorrow, and that gives us plus 110 odds. You look at his previous games. Game 3, he scored a goal and had 11 shots on goal. Look at Game 2, he did not score, but he had 5 shots and was a +4 in that game. And if you look at his first game, he had a goal and an assist, 4 shots there, plus +1 on that game. So he is shooting the puck a lot, and he is putting the puck in the back of the net. I believe he's got 9 goals going in so far within this playoffs kind of rounds. So definitely Nathan MacKinnon for a goal is a good bet there. Number 2 bet we're gonna make is we're gonna go Rantanen over 3.5 shots on goal. That is plus 122 odds. He's had 4 shots, 8 shots, and 2 shots. This last game he only had 2 shots there, but 3 shots on goal, but he had a goal and an assist. This is going to be a guy who's going to be really pushing the puck, especially because Kadri is going to be out. So look for some offensive firepower there from Rantanen there at over 3.5 shots.
Nice, man. I like it. My 2 best bets this week, we're going Colorado Avalanche minus 1.5 points or goals. Me and Ben talked about it earlier. Like, I feel like the Oilers, after losing Game 3, I think they're going to be a little checked out here. So I definitely expect Colorado to win by 2 because they'll at least get an empty net, just like they did last game. So give me the Colorado Avalanche minus 1.5 against the Oilers here. And then I'm going to take the Houston Astros minus 1.5 runs. I also like them first 5 minus 0.5. And I also like the under in this game. 3 bets, but my favorite minus 1.5 Houston Astros. Christian Javier in 23 and 2/3 innings pitched at home this season has a 0.3 ERA. Yes, that is under 1. So obviously he's going to have some regression, but I don't think it's going to be here. Opponents are only slashing 139, 209, 215 off him. Robbie Ray hasn't been good this season with a 4.93 ERA, and he hasn't been good on the road, sporting a 5.86 ERA. And his biggest issue is his fastball is getting hit, and he throws it 55% of the time. And teams are making contact on 81% of the pitches he throws in the zone. The Astros are making contact on 85% of said pitches. I know the Astros are coming off series wins against the A's and Royals, but I like this matchup here. Some home cooking, and I think the value is too good to pass up because we're going to get this at like plus 115, plus 120. So give me Houston Astros minus 1.5 runs.
Oh yeah, I really do like that Houston Astros -1.5 there. I was definitely going to take that bet. But it is time to get back to our beers, and we are going to be putting a ranking out of 5 on these beers. So Jordan, we're going to start off with you with we had 4 sours today. So it's definitely going to be a good day of ranks here. So tell me what you thought of your first one.
Yeah, so the first one, the lead dog, was like a more of a traditional sour, like, you know, a sour I would have had like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. So I liked it. It's very what's the word? Like bitter. Like,
yeah. Tart.
Like tart. I like those kind of sours. I would definitely drink it again. I would buy it again. Thought the flavors were really wonderful. So I'm gonna give it a 4.25 out of 5. The second one, this Fat Orange Cat, this is really good, dude. It's really thick. Like you obviously can't drink like a lot of them in one sitting. Yeah. But I think it's a great beer to like have around some buddies, and you know, you're sharing craft beers and stuff. So I'm gonna give this one a 4.5 because I do think it is absolutely delicious. The blueberry aroma and the taste, I mean, it's just a thing of beauty, bro. Like, this is a great sour. I wouldn't put it on the level of an ET, which is why I'm only gonna give it a 4.5. So we're going 4.5 out of 5, Ben.
Nice. So I had the 2 Great Notion beers. The first one that I had was the 7.1%, and this was easy like a Sunday morning.
Easy like Sunday morning.
I really liked this beer. It had great citrus, great tart notes. It reminded me of almost that bitterness that you get out of orange peel, like you get when you're using it in like an old fashioned. And nice. You get that kind of tartness of the orange peel there. I was worried about it being sweet with the tangerine and the orange, but it was not sweet at all. And it just really had a great tartness level. It had a great, a great pucker, but it wasn't overly fermented. So I'm going to give this one a 4.75. Definitely one that I would drink again. I'd go out of my way for. The Bicycle Day, which was the bright green one. Still have a little bit of that left, but it's a beer that grew on me. Initially, I was a little bit kind of questioning of all the different fruits that they had in there as you're drinking it, because it's got peach, apricot, pineapple, orange, and natural flavors. And what it reminded me was, as a kid, do you remember like pouring out the whole Gushers pack and putting all in your mouth at the same time? Like, that's what it reminded me of. And it was good, but you couldn't really pinpoint any of the fruits, which I kind of dropped it down a notch. So 7.5% you can drink. It doesn't taste like a 7.5% beer. So I'm going to give it a 4.5 out of 5. I would definitely get it again and drink it again. I'd love to have it straight from the source.
Nice, dude.
So good shit.
I like it.
All right, everyone. Thank you all for listening to the Taproom Sports Podcast. We are going to be back tomorrow. Well, Jordan is going to be back tomorrow with Irvin and Steady Eddie. I will be back on Tuesday to join Jordan, and then possibly Wednesday again. That was a ton of fun when we had all 4 of us doing the podcast together. So we'll be going 4 days straight for the Taproom Sports Podcast. Thank you, everybody out there for listening. You can find us on Instagram at Taproom Sports Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Taproom_sports. Had to think about that one for a second. You can hit Jordan up, which is at Jordan Rules TSP, or you can go to our website and find out all of the podcast information. But for Sunday night live and Monday's podcast, we are out of it. I am Big Ball and Ben Larson here with Jordan Stacks on Stacks on Stacks, lads.
Let's go.
We will see you tomorrow.
Yep.